Hello, everyone, and welcome to Office Hour. I'm just going to jump right into this, but if you're here watching me live, please say hi to me in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, please say hi to me in the comments. Either way works for me. I'm super excited to present this information today because this is something that's very, very practical and super helpful for social media managers who have clients who don't blog, but still want to have content shared on their behalf on all the socials. So I'm very happy to do this. And oh, by the way, after this, this is the replay. It will replay on all the social sites, but the main conversation is at socialmediapulse.community, and that's where I will be answering questions. So let's just kind of jump right into this, as they say. Let me set everything up to share with you. I'm very happy to do this because this is exciting for me. Now, notice that my presentation still has browser tabs at the top, and that's because I'm going to go explore a bunch of different places to help you out today. And you'll have access to all the slides, all the documents I'm presenting, all the links, everything. Now, content curation for you and your clients. Again, this is for those of you who have clients who want to have a better reputation in their industry, but they're not blogging. And you have to have content to share on social media. So what do you do as a social media manager? So I'm going to give you a whole bunch of resources today, and you can pick one or two or all of them, whatever you want to do, to set up yourself for success as a social media manager for your clients. So let's get started with this, shall we? So now here's the deal. This document right here has everything that you need, all the links, all the information. And if you're looking through the slides, you can just go to that doc right there. That's the link. But this is what it looks like. And it's the best sources of content and news. So let's go through this. Now, I'm going to go through each of these links. Some of these will be good for you and some of them not so good for you, but please go through all of them. So, because some of the end might be really good for you. Now, this one first up here easily has to be the oldest site that I know of for getting content, and that's Alltop. Alltop was around when I just first got started, and if you go to Alltop right now, you'll see that it has the most popular sites. Now, the way this site works is it's by site. So TechCrunch, and these are all of their recent posts. The New York Front Page, these are all their front posts. NPR News, Mashable, this is their most popular sites. But the nice thing about this is that you can organize your own dashboard at Alltop that only pulls in the blog posts and topics and articles that are of interest to you. And when you do this for first, now I'm signed into my site here, but the first time you come here, you will see a link that says set up your custom Alltop page. And the way that works is you can just select any of these, or you can add any blog post RSS feed that is important to you as a content creator. So I'm not going to go into what an RSS feed is, but you can ask me in the comments if you do not know. But basically, it's a way to pull in all the content from a particular website or blog. And then it's all on one page. So all the things you selected for TechCrunch and Lifehacker and RV Lifestyle, whatever it is, will be on one page. So let me show you kind of how that looks after you've set this up. I'm going to show you my custom Alltop page. And I have these two set up here. They're both kind of travel blogs. And all I need to do now is, if I'm looking for content, all I have to do, this is an e-commerce one, is click the link and I go straight to that post. And then if I'm on that post, all the way down at the bottom, you can just share it to any, if we get to the bottom, is there a bottom? Maybe there, yay, we finally got to the bottom. And we can share this. You know what? It's how much you want to bet us at the top. Let's go all the way to the top, shall we? Wherever it is on here that you share to your socials, or you can just, get the URL and post it. So anyway, the point being is that the collection is here and it's easy to get to. Now, let's say, for example, that I want to add to my dashboard on Alltop. Let's say I want to look and go into the, I don't know, food category. Maybe I have a client that has food. So here we've got all of these different sites, blogging sites, article sites that have to do with food. So I know that this is probably the best one for my client. So all I have to do is click the plus button and say, yes, that's why I clicked the plus button. And then it adds this. It's been added. But now if I go back home and visit my custom Alltop page, where'd it go? Let's refresh and make sure it's on there. Where'd it go? Okay, well, I just did this. I don't know why it's not working, but we'll go there again. Try it one more time. I want to add it. Yes, I definitely want to add it. And then if I want to do food and wine, I want to add it. And it's been added to my page. So if I go to my page, it's not here. I don't know why, but the point being is that you can create this desktop with all these different things. So I don't want to get stuck in Alltop, but it's really a good site to create a dashboard to bring in the types of things you want to share for your clients. All right, let's go to the next one. I'm going to close a couple of these things up here. All right, so now we're back to this document. The next one, and I have used this in the past for many clients, is called SmartBrief. And I don't know, let me know in the comments if you're here watching if you know about SmartBrief. So let's go to SmartBrief. By the way, it's always fun to do a live presentation where the tech that worked 30 seconds before you went live isn't working again. So much fun. All right, let's talk about SmartBrief. SmartBrief has the same sort of structure where they have all these different categories here, and you can go and look at all the articles that have to do in those categories. But the feature that I like the most about SmartBrief is if you go all the way down to the bottom, and you go to subscribe and you hit subscribe. Now you have all of these different newsletters that are sent to you daily that have already curated the information that you want in that category. So let's say, for example, I'm looking in travel and hospitality. So here we are. We have 6 newsletters that collect the information for what it is. So let's say SmartBrief for the travel professional. So all I need to do here is subscribe to this particular newsletter. And they also say, hey, why don't you do these too? And if I sign up, and then what happens is in the morning, I will get a newsletter with all the recent articles and posts on this particular topic. Makes it super easy to gather content for your clients this way. And again, there are so many newsletters with SmartBrief, just tons and tons and tons of different types of newsletters. So here's one for entrepreneurs, leadership, all sorts of different things that might be interesting to share on behalf of your client who doesn't have anything to share. So for example, let's go up here. You can also see the current curated list of articles in the food industry, right? So let's just find one. Let's say I have a non-blogging client who wants to share things about food. So let's go to this one right here. All I need to do is click this, and now I can share it to their Twitter account, Facebook, LinkedIn, their Pinterest account, wherever you want. Or of course, you can share it through the URL at the top. So super easy to find content to either schedule out or post live for your clients. So that's Smart Brief. And I really want you to really dig into that one, because especially for those of you who have professional clients in an industry who are very busy and do not have time to create their own content, you might be able to really help them out here. Now, I'm going to check over here and see if there are any comments from anybody yet. Yes, I have a Facebook user who's saying, love a good aggregator. We use Feedly. Feedly's coming up very soon in my presentation, and see if I use it the same way that you do. Again, Feedly is one of those core things that I've used for over 10 years, probably 10 years. Feedly's been around for a really long time. So between Alltop, Smart Brief, and Feedly, those are really some of those OG kind of services and tools that have been around forever. So let's go over here to the next thing. The next little section are these large news sites like USA Today, the New York Times, and the Wall Street Journal. Now, USA Today and the New York Times, you can get to articles for free, but the Wall Street Journal is a pay-to-read site, but I included it on here because some of you already have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal. So this is not a big problem for you. But if you're looking for free sources of information, stick with these two. And I just want to show you how this works for gathering content for a client. So if you go to USA Today, again, depending on your client's industry, you could just go up here. So let's do this travel thing again, since I'm on this one. And now we have some great articles in here that we can just read through and share. And so, and you know, you can go topical with the things that are in the news, or you can go more natural with Yellowstone's first grizzly this year. I feel like Iowa's first grizzly emerging from hibernation this year myself. But anywho, lots and lots of stories that you can do. And again, all you have to do is click through and then share it right to your client's site. All of that. Very, very easy. So that's the USA Today. And again, start with the categories at the top. It makes it way easier. The same thing for the New York Times. You can go to the New York Times. And again, at the top, you're going to see all these different categories. And again, going to travel. And you can see that that has nothing to do with travel. I did actually look at a few articles earlier. Now they want me to sign in to be able to continue to read. That's that middle type of gatekeeping that a lot of news sites have. One is that they just let you see everything because they want you to see the ads so that they get AdSense money. And the middle one says, yes, but we would prefer to know who you are so we can market to you. So please give us your email address. And then the third site is just a subscription-based service. So you have 3 options there for news content. All right. Now, let's go to the next one on this list, and that's HuffPost. HuffPost used to be Huffington Post. Now it's HuffPost because, you know, it's too many letters, I guess. But again, they do have all of this at the top that you can go through, and you can click through and find articles that you would like to share. Very easy to do. Again, just click and share. And if you are scheduling content for a client, you can use these things, find the ones that are the most evergreen, and then line them up in your scheduling dashboard and have them all set up. I have someone that I know who does content creation for a magazine, which is strangely doesn't blog. And so she's in charge of collecting content that has to do with natural, organic growing for farmers and for gardeners. And so what she does is she has all of these things set up, including a few we're going to talk about in a minute. And she has them all come in, and then she just schedules them out so that she can schedule out almost a month's worth of content in, half an hour, because the hard part, the curation part, is already done for her by using some of these news sources. So again, HuffPost is the same thing. You just go to the category and share or collect from there. Now, I did put BuzzSumo on here, and the reason I did is you might have a client that wants a more enterprise type of service that gives more analytics in terms of what type of posts are really getting some buzz and which keywords are really creating a buzz. If that's the case for your clients, then BuzzSumo is for you, but it is very, very pricey, and it's really built for an enterprise system that really needs certain types of information before they share online. They do have a 30-day free trial, but I just want to show you the pricing on this because it's like ridiculous. So for basic $119 a month, you only get 80 searches. This is ridiculous, but $119 a month. But you can see this right here. This is not for the normal social media manager. But if you're not a normal social media manager, you might be very interested in BuzzSumo. The nice thing about BuzzSumo is the way that it presents information through a keyword or from a topic. And I think they do give you some examples of how that looks down here. But the thing is that it truly is not for the just first starting out social media manager. But those of you who have been around a while, you might want to look into it. And I'm very curious. BuzzSumo used to be free. It also, because it has that 30-day trial, you can see some of the analytics it pulls in for content, but not all. It's a very pricey alternative. But back to this. All right, now we go from very expensive to very easy. And I just want to remind everybody that many third-party dashboards have a system that pulls in blog posts and articles based on your keywords. So there are a few dashboards that do this curation bit for you and will pull in articles and blog posts that you set up through an RSS feed reader inside the third-party dashboards. So you can't look at your third-party dashboard and see if it has this feature and if you need this to set it up that way. I've done this in the past. It was super handy because you could just go into the dashboard, see everything that was pulled in. You could click the ones you liked, and you could go ahead and schedule them from there, or have your client go in, approve these articles before they got scheduled. It's very handy. But the least expensive, because it's free, is going to be Google Alerts. Now, how many people use Google Alerts? Before I click over to that, I'm just kind of curious, the people that are here now, do you use Google Alerts at all for anything in your business? Post it in the comments wherever you are, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you are, and let me know. I always recommend that you use Google Alerts for three main things. Your name, absolutely, you should set up a Google Alert for your name, the name of your business, and the name of any products that you have. Like if you have a book title or you have a course title or whatever you have. So absolutely you need to set up those three Google Alerts. And the reason for that is that way you know when someone else is using your name somewhere that's not a mention, that you would get a notification for. And also when people steal your work, but they don't think to rename it. It's pretty wild. But I want to show you what I have for my Google Alerts because I've had these set up for a really long time. So I have Social Media Manager School, I have Social Media Pulse Community, I have my name, and I also have my email address because sometimes people are using my email address for weird things. So what happens with an alert is that it will, depending on how you set it up, you can set things up so that it's delivered the moment it becomes aware of this, or in a digest where everything comes in an email. So you get to decide how you want to do that. But all you have to do is to create an alert about, and I will do, oh my goodness, I will do, now, if your name is spelled strangely like mine is, or if you have a maiden name, you can see what gets pulled up already. But what you can do is you can do this like you normally do. And you'll see only if it's the actual name like that. Interesting. I'm a staff reporter writer for the Hornet Tribune. This is very interesting. It's pulling me up from high school. Okay, fun times. All right. So anyway, you set up your alert and you can get that in an email in the way that you like. So again, how many people are using Google Alerts for their name or their business name or their email address or a strange spelling of their name or their maiden name or all of those things? This particular system, you can also set it up for content. So for example, if your client is very, very, very niche into something very nichey, and it's hard to find content for them using these other aggregators, then you can put that keyword into Google Alerts and then it can bring it things to you. So, what should I put in here that's very, okay, farm equipment. Now, actually, I do know a social media manager who runs the social media management for a company that creates farm equipment. So this is not a weird thing. It's an actual thing. So all I have to do now is create the alert, and every morning I will get an email with all the things that have farm equipment in there. And again, if you want it to be exactly farm equipment, just make sure you do this. So again, that's a great way to gather very, very niche content that you might not find in these other news site generators and aggregators. Alrighty, now back to the sources of content. Now we get to Feedly. And like I said earlier, Feedly is one of those services that's been around forever. It's changed its UI like many, many times, but it's super handy. And it's also now has, I would call it a freemium site where there's a free version and then there's a premium version. The free version is a little hard to find, so I'm going to show you how to do that. But it is a super good way to collect content for you to share for your non-blogging clients. So let's say you go to Feedly, and if you go to pricing, so if you haven't opened up your thing, you'll see here that the lowest one seems to be $6 a month, which actually is pretty good. I mean, it's a very good service, and so that $6 a month is not that big a deal. But if you want a plain reader, you can do a free plan and on mobile, where you can follow up to 100 feeds and organize them into 3 folders. And that's exactly the way I have mine set up. So I have 3 folders. I have new travel tech, I have social media news, and I have travel. These are my 3 folders. And so these have to do with certain clients that I have. Very easy to set up. And you can put up to 100 feeds. So under social media news, you can see that I have these 4 set up right now. But I could add so many more in here. And just so you know, back onto this document, I could, in theory, add every single one of these into my Feedly to do that. Okay? So, and the nice thing about this is that the way it works, and let me see if I'm going to go to today. So these are the things that have been published from my feeds that I've set up in here in one page. So I can just slide through here and see all the social media news, all the travel news, everything right there. And then all I have to do is click through for these like this. And then I can star it. I can save it to my Evernote, which is kind of funny. I can go get the link copy the link to the clipboard so I can put it somewhere else, like in a spreadsheet. I can bookmark it for later if I want to put some away to read later. I can share to Buffer. I can share in an email. I can go straight to LinkedIn with it. I can take it to Mastodon, which I think is hysterical, but whatever. Straight to Twitter, all the things, right? So, and these are some other places, and including Facebook. So these are super easy to set up and look at and have everything aggregated into this one thing. All the ones that I bookmark would be in a read later. So let's say, for example, in the morning, I get up and I open my Feedly and I go through here, and all I do is I bookmark a bunch. It's super easy to do. You just click read later. Oh yeah, that one I might need later. And then after lunch, when I'm setting up content for my clients, all I have to do is come over here, click over here to my read later. Everything is ready for me to go. And then after I'm done with this one, I can just mark it as read and hide it. And so that every morning I have a new list of content that would be great for my clients. All right, so how's that looking? People who are here live, thank you very much for listening in and listening to all of these things. I already know that one person is using Feedly. We love it, and I love it too. And thanks for being here. It is a great topic, and I hope you're enjoying all the information I'm giving you. I have a few more things to show you, but if you have any comment or any question about creating content or finding content for your non-blogging clients, put it in the comments of wherever you are, and I'm happy to look at it and answer it. Now, if you are putting your comments in the community right now, I won't be able to answer those until I go over to the community, because StreamYard, this wonderful system that we're using, does not show me comments from the community. Technology, what can I say? But we're getting there. All right, back to the presentation. Now, this question gets asked a lot in the community, and that is, where's the best sources for social media managers to keep up on the news? Well, first off, you need to know that Social Media Pulse community reports on the news every Monday. There's a nice video kind of with the top stories mentioned in it. But, you know, you can go and find your own sources for the news, especially if there's one particular platform or social media site that you really need to keep up on, like Instagram or YouTube or whatever is important for your clients, for you or your clients. Then here you go. Here's a whole bunch of sites for you. One that I use almost daily is this one, which is Social Media Today. Social Media Today always has the most current topics going on, and it has it separated by social media site. So again, if you need for you now, if you are the client who's not blogging, which most social media managers rarely blog, which is very interesting. But let's say you still want to express your opinion on what's happening on Pinterest or LinkedIn or Facebook or TikTok or whatever, then it's super easy to find the news in here and share it to your social site with your opinion on it. So for example, let's see what's happening in LinkedIn today. See if there's anything new, exciting happening in the LinkedIn world. Collaborative articles. Yes, I knew about this one, but it's a very interesting new feature. And if you click through to read it, you will see how interesting it is. And also, I really like Social Media Today because they always include a link in that first paragraph. If they're announcing the news, they always have a link that goes to the official news site. So straight to LinkedIn itself, actually, when they announce this. So you have two places to share with this. You can share the Social Media Today take on it, or you can go straight to LinkedIn. And if you go straight to LinkedIn, you will see that the news is from their site. So both ways are good. Sometimes I like including both in my social media post. But anywho, so here I am. Here's the thing. So all I need to do now is share this to LinkedIn and add my 4 cents to it. and post it. Very easy to do. So again, social media today is one of the best places, and that's why I set the top here. You have Social Media Examiner that also has, they're not as prolific in their posts as Social Media Today is, but they do have some great takes and tutorials on things. Mari Smith, that's her Facebook page, and she's always up on all the things Facebook and Instagram. Same here. This is the Facebook business page where it's the actual official news announcements. Same thing for Twitter, LinkedIn. I also included NBC News for the social media link, The Independent in the UK for social media, CNBC for social media. All of these are excellent places for social media managers to get content to post to their social media sites to keep their social authority high. All right, and then that very last thing here is creating a Twitter list of your favorite news sources. This is something that I've done for years and years, and you can do this for yourself and you can do it for your clients, because you can create a Twitter list, a private Twitter list of all the important news sources and for those authors of news, so those reporters that might possibly report on you sometime in the future. You can put them all on a Twitter list, and that way when you're on Twitter, you can see everything that they're tweeting about, and you can comment and add your voice to the conversation. And that's how those reporters get to know you. And then when it's time they need somebody who knows something really well about e-commerce on Instagram, for example, they know who to talk to because they've seen and heard your responses through time. So that Twitter list is still a classic traditional way of making sure that you have content to tweet, and also because a lot of times on Twitter, people are tweeting posts to articles. You can get the link to the article, and then from the article, you can post to any site that you want. All right, so that was a quick tour around all the things. And hi, Sonia. So yes, this document will be linked in the comments in all the places as soon as I'm done, and also the slides so that you can get to everything. But this document and the slides will be linked in just a few minutes as soon as I'm done. Is there a particular industry that you're interested in and want to have me do a deeper dive into it? If so, go ahead and put that in the comment. I'm happy to look at that. If you only work with real estate agents or you only work with restaurants or whatever, I can do a deeper dive. Remember, Smart Brief is really, really good for clients who are in a leadership position and want to share articles that have their take on it. For example, if you have, and let me just pull myself up here for just a moment. If you have a client that wants to continue to support their leadership position that they want to have, this is how I would do this as a social media manager. If they're not blogging, I would go and find those industry articles that have to do with the person's industry, and I would make sure I give this to them in a way that they can easily read it, and then ask them for a 3-sentence opinion about it. And this can be done through email, it can be done through Slack, it can be done through any number of ways. And that way, you have the response that you need to put with the article. So a lot of times, clients, they're happy to do it, but you need to give them plenty of time. So for example, if you find all the articles that you're going to post for the next month, I would send every 3 days, I would send another 3 articles and just ask them to respond within 3 days. And then hopefully you have that in your proposal and in your contract so they know it's a serious thing. so that they can write their 3 sentences of each of those 3 articles. And if they don't want to write it, tell them to make an audio of it. It's super easy to transcribe an audio these days. So if they can't like take the time to sit down to type, then have them do the audio and then just use the audio. And there's your post. Done. And very easy to do. All right, so I have another question here from Vicky. Hi, Vicky. So good to see you. I need a refresher on creating Twitter lists. Can I find it in Pulse Academy? Yes, you can. It's under the Twitter section, and there should be a section for Twitter lists in there. But I can very quickly show you how to do that very easily. I'm going to close a few of these things up, and I will go to Twitter, and I'll show you how it's done. And I do not know what Twitter account will be. Oh, good, it's me. Because I have lots of Twitter accounts, so I'm glad it was me. All right, here we go. This is how you make a Twitter list. And the thing is that, again, as of right now, today, this is how it works. But with Twitter, you never know. So Twitter lists. Now, you can pin a list, by the way, so that these pinned lists, what happens is when you look at Twitter on your phone, or anywhere actually, you can see those as tabs on your account. So for example, I'm just going to very quickly go to Twitter, and at the top of Twitter, I have For You, which is the aggregated algorithm feed from Twitter, and then Following, which is just the people I'm following, what they're posting, and then I have SME Experts and Social Media Marketing World 22 speakers. So I can just very easily click over to, let's say, the SME Experts, and I know you can't see this, but it's just those people on that list that I'm seeing there. Twitter lists are the best thing in the world on Twitter. It makes Twitter easy to use, enjoyable, and also super easy to find content for your clients this way. But let's just make a new list, shall we? Alrighty, so here are my lists. All of these are my lists, and also these are people who I'm following a list that they created, and I've pinned it. I can pin it right from here. So it doesn't just have to be the list that you create, right? All right, so up here, we're going to create a new list. We're going to give it a name. We can say social media news for sharing. And you can spend the time creating a description if it's going to be a public list. If it's going to be private, then you don't need to fill all of this out. And then you can say private. And if you're going to be fancy and it's going to be public, I definitely suggest you put up a cover image for it. It's just a beautiful presentation when you go to it. And I'll show you one of those in just a minute. So once you've got the name of it and you're going to make it private, then you go next. And then you're going to find people that should go there. So, and then you just add them. So I'm going to add them, going to add them. Going to add them, and you can go and find ones like that, and then add them to your list. So now I have 3 people on this list, and click done. And now you can see it's a private list here, and I can see everything that they have tweeted today. Okay, so does that answer your question? Not seeing, oh, really? Seriously? Vicki, I love you so much, and I wish I'd seen that. Now I'm going to do that all over again, sharing my screen. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's try that again, shall we? Let's start. It's been a day, that's all I got to say. All right, let's go back. Starting over. Yay, we're on Twitter. Let's do this again. And Vicki is totally okay to laugh at me because it happens on occasion. Okay, here we go. Starting on Twitter. you go down here to more, and then you click lists. Oh my goodness, what a day. All right, you can see that there are two pinned lists up here. This one and this one. And I'll just show you this one right now because this is a public list and anyone can follow the list. I put up a banner. I talked about what it is. There's 37 members on it, and I can very easily see everything that those members are tweeting today. And then, of course, like I said, on mobile, because I have pinned this list, I can see it as a tab. And if I go back here, you can also see the tabs on desktop. So I can just click here and see everything that the people on that particular list are tweeting. It's a brilliant system. But now, like we said before, let's go back to lists, and I'm going to create a new one. And now you can actually watch me do it. Okay. So we're going to go up here where it says new list. I'm going to click it. I'm going to give it a name. And we're going to call it again, Social Media News 2. And again, if it's going to be public, make sure you put up an image and you fill in the description, because anyone you add to this list will see that they've been added to a list, and it's a nice presentation. So I'm going to make this one private again, and then click next. And now I'm going to do social media again. And all I have to do is start adding people that I think are good to add. And then I can also go hunt for certain people. I'm going to go hunt for Andrea. Whoops. No. I clicked out, sorry. I'm going to search for people. There she is, and just add her, just like that. And then that way, when you're done, you can click done. And remember, you can add new people to this list anytime you want. And now, here are the 4 members who are on here, and this is my list that I can use to decide who I'm going to like and share. Okay? Does that make sense? Did I do it? Did I do it good that time, Vicki? I'm so sorry. It's been a day. And it's not even 11 my time, and it's been a day. All right. Please do a deep dive into, okay, so let me pull this up here. It says, please do a deep dive into SaaS and IT. All right, so for example, if you have a client that is building a software program or IT, then you probably have a bunch of people that are already in the industry, like people who are speakers for the industry or people who give webinars on particular topics or founders. I would start with a list of them, right? So I would, old school, just make a list of who those people are. And then I would first go into Twitter and I would find all of those people and put it on a private list. First, I'd put them on a private list. Later on, I'm going to put them on a public list, but first I would put them on a private list. Now, if your client is on Twitter, it's very easy to see what all of these industry leaders and founders are doing and saying right now. Super easy to share what they're saying or share what they're doing. And again, if your client, it's important for your client to add their opinion to what they're talking about, then all you need to do is, for example, go to any particular tweet, and you can either, no, that's not the best way to do it, is to click the timestamp, and you can take this URL and send it to your client and say, do you have a 3-sentence opinion on this? And they either send it back written or in audio, and you take that, and that becomes your quote retweet. So you would click this and click your quote retweet and put their quote in there. Of course, you would be in their account. So that's what I would do on Twitter. And then what I would do is I would absolutely, for SaaS, I would go up to Alltop, and I would Let's see if they have the best way to do it here. So it would be tech. And let's just see if there's anything in here already. And again, this is where you need to know some of the founders and some of the industries. And I would maybe go here and then I would add this one, but I would also do a filter and see if I can get SaaS in the filter, if that makes sense. So here I'm looking through all of these and to see, and again, the thing is about My Alltop is that you can hunt for it according to websites. So again, your founders and your other SaaS people have websites. I would definitely, and every newspaper has a reporter that's tasked with IT news. So again, finding those sources and then adding them here. The other one that I would go to is I would definitely go to SmartBrief, and I would go into the tech. Let's see if they have infrastructure. Is that what they would call tech? That's an interesting thing. Maybe I would go here and just go see if anything comes up. So here we go. This would be a bunch of things that you could look through and see if it fits for your particular client. And that's an easy way to get information that's collected by SmartBrief. So does that help? Does that help? In terms of gathering, curating content? And really, it's just going to take a little bit of time to figure out your best sources and the best way to see your content. Maybe use Feedly, and I would go into Feedly and do a search for SaaS. Maybe we'll just do that right now and see what comes up. Let's go over to Feedly. And let's say I want to go into new travel tech, and I want to find, how would be the best way to do this on Feedly? I think with Feedly, probably, well, we could try this. Let's go. And there we go. If we could do a basic keyword match, let's just do that and see what, I've got a pro feature. Sorry. So it looks like search on Feedly is a pro feature. But again, it's fairly inexpensive. This might be the best thing for you to do. And they might have, I think they do have a free trial with that. All right. Does that help at all, Sonia? Thank you for asking. I really appreciate it. So all of this will be available to you in the comments in all the places, and especially in the community. It's very important that you realize that the community is where we're having the main conversations here. So if you go over to socialmediapulse.community, you will find all the information, all the conversation, all the seasoned veteran social media managers and small agency and large agency owners have this conversation. All right, so are there any other questions from anybody watching me live? I am running up against time now, and if there are any other questions, put them in the comments right now, and I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, thank you very much for listening in, and have a great rest of your day, and come over to the community and say hi to me, and see you over there. Bye-bye, everybody.